Have you heard about the new cabinet resolution that allows you to become a tax resident of Dubai in only 90 days? Well, this is what we are going to talk about today. We will discuss what this resolution is about, for whom it is applicable, and what advantages it brings. Hello, I'm Irena Pergomet, an Assistant Operations Manager in Nomad Capitalist, where we help people from all over the world to go offshore and where they're treated best. United Arab Emirates, one of the most attractive countries in the world because of its zero tax policy, offers a new challenge to the world. In the business world, the UAE is famous for its remarkable zero tax policy, through which it attracts investments from all over the world. The spirit of a country, and especially of Dubai, is luxurious and expensive. It embraces cutting-edge technology and is very popular among tourists. If you decide to reside in the UAE, you should know that the only thing that you can be there is a resident. You cannot qualify for citizenship. However, you are given an opportunity of becoming a tax resident, which brings lots of benefits that you might be looking for. Until now, the UAE has not had a domestic legal definition of tax residency. Instead, tax treaties and specific criteria established by the Federal Tax Authority of the UAE were used to determine each individual's status in the country. In order to bring more clarity to the table in terms of a person's tax residency position, Cabinet Resolution number 85 was created. It lays down explicit residency tests and gives the exact instructions on how natural persons and legal ones can be deemed as tax residents. This resolution will enter into force on the 1st of March 2023 and will be applicable to individuals and as well corporate entities. For eligibility purposes, there are some requirements that must be met. Individuals can be tax residents in the UAE if he or she completes one of the following three options. The first one, of course, is when the individual's usual or principal place of residency is in the United Arab Emirates and the center of their financial and personal interests are in the UAE, or other conditions that are prescribed by the minister himself. That means that the individual has decided to make the UAE their home base, or he/she acquired assets and moved whole his family in the UAE. The second one is the traditional one. The individual has been physically present in the UAE for a period of 183 days or more in a consecutive 12-month period. If in any case you decide to stay in the country for more than 183 days, you will automatically become a tax resident and you can benefit from the country's policies. And the third one that we actually are talking about today. The 90-day options works for the individual who has been physically present in the UAE for a period of 90 days or more over the consecutive 12 months period under the following options. The individual is a UAE citizen or UAE resident, or the individual has a permanent place of residency in the UAE or carries out a job or business in the UAE. This is for individuals. The situation is a bit different when it comes to companies. An entity will become a tax resident of the UAE if it was established, formed, or registered in accordance with the UAE laws, thus not including branches of foreign legal persons. According to UAE's tax policies, domestic and foreign branches are not considered separate juridical persons, but extensions of their head offices. Therefore, a branch of a foreign juridical person registered in the UAE would generally not be considered a tax resident of the UAE. A company will be a tax resident in the UAE if the applicable UAE tax law, which is not published yet, acknowledges the entity as a tax resident. The federal corporate income tax legislation should feature further details on this condition soon, and only then we will be able to know exactly what the applicable UAE tax law is. However, we can make some assumptions now based on the public consultation document that was released on 18th of April 2022 by the Ministry of Finance. Generally, as mentioned before, companies established outside of the UAE are not considered tax residents in the UAE, but This document says that although they are not established in the UAE, if these companies are effectively managed and controlled by the UAE, they may be treated as UAE tax residents. In case of an international agreement, such as a tax treaty, that determines tax residency according to specific conditions, the resolution supports the international agreements to continue to apply. Therefore, if any UAE person wants to evaluate their tax residency for the purposes of applying for an international agreement, he or she has to refer to the specific criteria set forth in the international agreement itself. And finally, to move on to the final part, let's talk about the benefits that this tax regime brings. The first one is definitely more clarity that is given in respect of the UAE tax residency position for natural and legal persons. Now they know the exact criteria that make them tax residents and how they can keep it. It is especially essential for the cases of bilateral tax agreements between the UAE and other countries. Now it has more vividness thanks to this new domestic law, which will make it easier to apply these treaties and issue tax resident certificates in accordance with them. Turning yourself into a tax resident of this country has become more accessible and even more attractive due to saving 90 days of physical presence in Dubai. Individuals will not be taxed on their personal income in the UAE, which is another advantage. Not only individuals, but enterprises benefit a lot too because of the availability of being a tax-free company. For example, if they have established their headquarters in the UAE and obtained a tax residency certificate, they can use double taxation avoidance agreements, DTAA, to guarantee that the same taxpayer is not taxed twice in two different nations. Brett Evans, Managing Director of EMEA at Atlas Wealth Management, said, "To me, this is another step that the UAE is taking towards a global tax compliance framework and is an expected move with the new company tax that is being introduced in 2023. To sum up, the UAE has always been a great attraction for people and entities looking for a great tax landscape and reducing their taxes. By adding the Cabinet Resolution number 85 of 2022, it has expanded its potential for increased globalization in the economy, and this is a win-win situation for both sides, the country and its existing or future population." Thank you for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments.